In a forgotten corner of the city, there stood an old apartment building, its once vibrant facade now faded and peeling. The locals whispered tales of its haunted past, but for Sarah, a young artist seeking inspiration, it was the perfect place to escape the noise of the world. Upon moving in, Sarah felt an odd chill in the air, but she dismissed it as a draft from the aging windows. The first night, as she settled into her new home, she heard faint whispers echoing through the walls. At first, she thought it was just her imagination, a trick of the mind in the silence of the night. But as days turned into weeks, the whispers grew louder, more distinct. One evening, while painting in her dimly lit living room, Sarah paused to listen. The whispers seemed to form words, calling her name softly, beckoning her to come closer. Intrigued and unnerved, she followed the sound to the hallway, where the walls felt unnaturally cold. She pressed her ear against the plaster, and the whispers intensified, a cacophony of voices pleading for help. Determined to uncover the source, Sarah began researching the building's history. She discovered that many years ago, a family had lived in her apartment, a mother and her 2 children. They had mysteriously vanished one stormy night, leaving behind only unanswered questions and a lingering sorrow that seeped into the very walls. As the nights wore on, the whispers became more frantic, and Sarah started having vivid nightmares. She dreamt of the mother, her face twisted in anguish, searching for her lost children. Each morning, Sarah awoke drenched in sweat, the whispers still echoing in her mind. One fateful night, unable to bear the torment any longer, Sarah decided to confront the spirits. She lit candles and set up a small table in the center of her living room, hoping to communicate with them. As she called out to the lost souls, the temperature dropped and the whispers turned into anguished cries. Suddenly, the lights flickered and a shadowy figure appeared before her. It was the mother, her eyes hollow and filled with despair. "Help me find them," she pleaded, her voice a haunting melody that sent shivers down Sarah's spine. "They are trapped, lost in the darkness." With a mix of fear and determination, Sarah agreed to help. The mother pointed towards a hidden door at the end of the hallway, one that Sarah had never noticed before. Heart pounding, she approached the door, its surface covered in dust and cobwebs. As she opened it, a gust of cold air rushed out, carrying with it the faint scent of decay. Inside, the room was dark and musty, filled with forgotten toys and broken furniture. In the corner, Sarah spotted 2 small figures huddled together, their faces pale and eyes wide with fear. They were the children, trapped in a limbo between worlds. As Sarah reached out to them, the room began to shake, and the whispers turned into a deafening roar. The mother's spirit appeared beside her, urging her to act quickly. "You must free them," she cried, her voice filled with desperation. With a surge of courage, Sarah took the children's hands, and together they stepped into the light. In an instant, the room exploded with brightness, and the whispers faded into silence. The children smiled, their faces now filled with peace, and the mother's spirit embraced them, finally reunited. As the light enveloped them, Sarah felt a warmth wash over her, and the oppressive weight of the apartment lifted. The whispers that had haunted her for so long were gone, replaced by a serene stillness. She had freed the lost souls, and in doing so, had found her own peace. From that day on, the apartment felt different. The air was lighter, and the walls no longer whispered. Sarah continued to paint, but now her art was filled with vibrant colors and joyful scenes. The old building, once a place of sorrow, had transformed into a sanctuary of hope. And though the whispers were silenced, Sarah knew that the spirits would always be a part of her, guiding her hand as she created, forever grateful for the love that transcended even the darkest of places. As time passed, Sarah became a beloved figure in the neighborhood, often inviting locals to her studio for art shows. Each piece she created told a story, a blend of her experiences and the echoes of the past that had once haunted her. The apartment, now a haven of creativity, drew people in, and they marveled at the transformation it had undergone. One evening, during an exhibition, an elderly woman approached Sarah, her eyes glistening with tears. "I used to live here," she said, her voice trembling. "I remember the family that vanished. It was a tragedy that shook the whole community." Sarah listened intently, her heart racing as the woman recounted the events that had unfolded years ago. The woman spoke of the mother's love for her children, how she would often be seen playing with them in the park nearby. But one fateful night, after a fierce storm, they simply disappeared. The building had been shrouded in mystery ever since, with rumors swirling about what had truly happened. Moved by the woman's story, Sarah felt a deep connection to the past. She realized that her journey had not only been about freeing the spirits, but also about honoring their memory. Inspired, she decided to create a mural in the building's lobby, depicting the family in happier times, surrounded by the vibrant life of the community. As she painted, the whispers returned, but this time they were gentle, like a soft breeze guiding her brush. Sarah felt the presence of the mother and her children, their spirits watching over her, grateful for the tribute she was creating. The mural became a symbol of hope and resilience, a reminder that love endures even in the face of tragedy. The unveiling of the mural drew a crowd, and as the residents gathered, they shared their own stories of loss and love. The building, once a place of sorrow, became a gathering spot for healing and connection. People began to share their own art, music, and stories, creating a vibrant community that celebrated life. Sarah's apartment became a sanctuary not just for her but for others seeking solace and inspiration. The whispers, now transformed into laughter and conversation, filled the halls, echoing the joy that had replaced the sorrow. The spirits of the mother and her children were finally at peace, their story woven into the fabric of the building. Years later, as Sarah looked back on her journey, she realized that the old apartment had given her more than just a place to live. It had gifted her a purpose. She had learned that even the darkest places could be illuminated by love and creativity, and that every story, no matter how tragic, could lead to healing and hope. The building stood as a testament to the power of connection, a reminder that we are all intertwined in the tapestry of life, and that even in the shadows, light can find a way to shine through.